Recorded. All right. All right. I'm still getting used to this new Zoom interface. They moved everything around. It all looks different if you updated your Zoom anytime recently. Now the recording is up in the upper right, which is not where it was before. All right. Okay. So let's get started. I did just put that agenda in the chat. I'll put it in there one more time. First item, we'll jump right into it, is Campus Race to Zero Waste, also known as Recyclemania. Just an update on that. They haven't released the official final results yet, but I have noticed that things have not changed for a little while on the website. And right now, BCC is in 6th place. We are at 59.234% diversion rate. So that's actually a lot better than we were earlier in the competition. In fact, it's only about a half a percentage point away from where we were last year. So I was in a previous meeting, we had spoken that we were worried that our numbers might be on the decline, but it looks like we're actually right on par with last year. So that is some good news. And of course, we'll be doing Recyclemania again next year. You'll hear more about that as it comes up. All right, so if no one else has anything else to add about Recyclemania, we'll move on to our next item. And I'm not seeing anything. So Cody, next item is the Campus Green Up Day that was last week. Would you like to give us an update? Let us know how it went.
Sure, happy to. So it was a fairly well-attended event. I think we had about 10 or 11 folks register for it in advance. And just about everybody showed up on the day, and we completed everything that we had set out to do well before the time limit. So that just means we'll have to plan to do more next year. And we had a lot of other folks interested in it as they saw us working. So I think we'll have an even better turnout next year and can really make a nice event out of it.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you to all of our facilities partners who helped make that happen as well. And that is kind of connected to the next item on the agenda, which is Earth Day, because that was part of our full Earth Day events that we did. So Cody and anybody else really who wants to chime in, how were the birds in the connector? I saw some of the images from that.
I didn't get a chance to see the birds, but I saw the
Too
aftermath,
busy cleaning
and
up.
they were pretty impressive from what I could see in the brief moment there.
Cool. I see Gab and some other folks are here. Did anybody get to see the birds?
I got
Jay,
to see
maybe
the first
did you
three
take
of them. The owls
did you
were
take
very
the pictures maybe that I saw?
Yeah, I got to see pictures of I got to take the pictures of a few, and then I had to run to another meeting. So but it was very cool, and the students were incredibly engaged with that. So it was really great.
Nice. It looked like that was like right inside the connector, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. And nope, Gab hates birds. So that's a real thing. People do have phobia of birds. I know I grew up with parakeets in my house, and those things can dive bomb you like nobody's business when you're not paying attention. All right. So anything else that anyone else would like to add about Earth Day or birds or all right. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for helping to make that happen. So I'll launch into our next item, which is our community cleanup. And this was this past weekend on Saturday. I just put a link in the chat to the BCC Green Team blog, where we've got a couple photos of Sean and I cleaning up. We didn't have a whole lot of folks show up. It was just Sean and I, but we had a big impact. Between the two of us, we picked up 3 really big bags, and honestly, you could tell the difference just driving by the school. There was a bunch of trash that specifically that I could see driving by the school. It was Crosby Elementary School right down the hill on West Street. And I noticed when I was driving by there that there was a forest area around the edge near the driveway that was filled with all kinds of debris, but it is no more. And we got a lot of other highly visible areas and quite a bit of trash. I always like to, as I do these community cleanups, talk about some of the strangest items that we saw. And most of it was things you'd expect: cigarette butts, um, masks. People still wear masks with all the stuff that goes on even after the pandemic, even though it's really kind of still going on. But yeah, so I think the strangest thing that I picked up was I think it was a cat skull. I found it in the woods as I was picking things up, and I didn't know what I was looking at first. And yeah, so I'm glad that I got rid of it instead of some elementary school child finding it and possibly being scarred for life. Um, but yeah, we cleaned up a lot of stuff, and we got a lot of trash picked up, and I feel really good about it. We're going to keep doing these events. In fact, Sean enjoyed doing it so much, he talked about doing them more often. So he might try to organize one either over the summer or in the fall. And yeah, they're really impact the community. In fact, I got a thank you email from some of the folks at Crosby Elementary School. I think they noticed right away the impact that we had too. All right. Anything else on the cleanups or Earth Day or any of that stuff before we move on to our next item? Yeah, we will definitely do more in the future. I know it's always hard to schedule anything, it feels like these days. I think the wellness fair was the exact same day, so that, can only be in one place at a time, which makes it tricky. All right. So I see Deb is here. I didn't give you a heads up that we will be talking about this. I don't see Tina here. But if there is an update with the sharing appliances project on campus, I don't know if there would be. We kind of just figured out which direction we're going to move in. But and it's okay if there's no update. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprising folks.
I don't really
Yeah.
have any updates on any of that.
Yeah, I think we decided we're going to stick to the educational component of it.
Yeah.
And some of it's ready, so it could kind of get turned into a blog post at any time. But maybe the timing's not right with it. Everything is kind of winding down.
Yeah.
Maybe just sitting on that a little bit and unraveling, or revealing it rather in the fall might have a bigger impact on the community. Because
That makes sense.
yeah, 'cause we're reaching the time of the year where a lot of faculty don't come back on campus once their last final is done until September. So,
Okay.
all right, I think that's a good plan for that, and I'll reach out to Tina, and make sure that she's feeling good about that too.
Okay.
Okay, so our next item, if there's nothing else about that, is Roberta and Roberta's project. So Roberta, it is your spotlight, and feel free to unmute and take it away.
Okie dokie. All right, let me check my notes here. All right, so the trail project is the first thing I'll talk about. As some of you know, I've been working on the trail back there, the one we call the John Lambert Nature Trail, for some time. And the progress that we've had so far is that I've got 2 students that might be interested in helping this summer, and actually 2 staff people. So we'll see how that goes. And people in Science Commons are super helping get the trail markers ready. They've been printed, and they're done through 3D printing that Colin Wilson did. And Catherine up there and Nordica and another person, I'm sorry, it's on my email, have volunteered to help get those more ready. There's the artifact of the 3D printing leaves kind of a lot of extra plastic that has to come off. The other piece of the trail project is that, hold on one second. Oh, okay. We're trying to figure out where funding is going to come from. I'm trying to keep it really low, super low cost at this point, and I've got a list that I can email to people of the items we're looking for. It's a small list that kind of combines some stuff for the trail and some stuff for leading up to the trail around Hoffman. And if people have random stuff kicking around in their garage, I'll send you guys the list, whoever might be interested, before I go try to buy a bunch of stuff at Home Depot. You might have things sitting around in a tool drawer, or, things like a whole brand new thing of maybe some screws that you bought for a project and never did the project. There's just things that we need to get the markers ready and get them up. And so that's the wish list. We do a wish list once a year, is going to come out soon and probably be put on the blog. Okay, the next thing is the new wish list will also be if you have garden items that you don't need, and you can communicate with me via email, and we can figure out how to get those over to the garden that's behind SBA. The next thing I wanted to mention was the Hoffman renovation. Cody J is helping me get not only with the rest of the measurements that we need to give to Gina Steck, who's going to help us with the grant proposal for the renovation and the raised beds. She helped work on all the raised beds and the whole renovation back with Kevin and Katie, which turned into the beautiful raised beds we have now. Sorry, I just flipped to the wrong page. Hold on a second. Okay, and Cody's probably getting somebody else to help with that, and is going to do some very interesting math that I don't understand at all, but I'm glad somebody understands it. And the other part of the Hoffman renovation is I just finished updating the list of plants that Tom Tyning and I agreed upon. And if you want to see that list, it's a list I'm also going to be sending to Gina Steck, because we have a chance to, I don't know the dollar amount, but Ward's Nursery in Great Barrington has offered to donate to us a lot of the things we might need when we're ready for them. We know that's way on down the line, but it's a standing offer. It's not, they won't take that offer away. I think that's it. Oh no, the one other thing I was asking Christian earlier is we can do a thing as Green Team, we can endorse certain projects. And this was probably about 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, we endorsed the Pollinator Pathway Project. And voila, even though it might have been a lot of serendipity, we ended up with a pollinator garden, which is really kind of cool. So I'm wondering if the Green Team would be interested in endorsing the trail renovation project, because there's a lot of hands in on it now, and more people are getting interested. So I guess I can put that on the table and people can think about it. If we're not going to have another meeting for this semester, I'm just wondering how we could make an endorsement happen. And I think that's it for now.
Okay, well, I know we've talked about the trail refresh and all the projects with that. I think we could just kind of come to a consensus agreement if that's something that the Green Team wants to endorse. Sounds like a good plan to me. We've kind of already endorsed it by giving you the go-ahead to say, go ahead and work on it, Roberta, and represent the Green Team. So unless anyone would like to speak to being opposed to that project, which I'm not seeing anyone who looks like they would be opposed, let's go ahead and say the Green Team endorses it. It's kind of hard to talk about things like quorum and whatnot, because I'm not even sure how many members of the Green Team there are. So how would we even decide what a third or whatever a quorum is supposed to be? But I feel pretty good about saying, like, yeah, let's go ahead and endorse that. And unless anybody else would like to speak further to it, either for or against, by all means, like, but it seems like it's right in alignment with everything else we do.
Should we like raise our hands or something, or make a little thumbs up or something so we can get an idea?
So yeah, I see several raised hands. Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, cool.
I see a thumbs up. Great. So yeah, it doesn't look like anybody is opposed to that.
All right, that's awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Now Jen still has her hand. Okay, she just unraised her hand. Okay, just wanted to make sure you didn't actually want to say something. Okay, perfect.
And I'll keep letting you guys know about what's going on with it, because I'm going to keep, just keep on going. I'm not stopping.
Great.
Okay.
And Roberta, will you be around doing work this summer? I know you've got a lot going on.
I will be. I think I told you I've graduated to walking with one cane now after the surgery. So sorry if I haven't been around, folks, but I had a big surgery. So, but yeah, I'm planning My date that the doctor was like May 15th, you can go back and start working on the garden. And all
Great.
the other stuff.
That sounds like an improvement. So that's what we're looking for.
Trying. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. Okay. So coming up on our next item, thank you, Roberta, is mentioning that, yes, this is the last green team meeting of the semester. We did have another scheduled for 2 weeks from now, but I'm realizing that that's kind of already the end of the semester. I think most folks will be done with their exams. I think it's technically exam week, but we won't be meeting on that day, the 14th. So this is the last meeting that we're going to have of the semester. Our next meeting will likely be in the fall, in September. However, that's also connected to our next item, which is Green Team leadership for next year. Since I've kind of been leading the group of co-chairs. However, I'm not on campus very much, only a couple hours each week, even if that. I think it was about 90 minutes this morning when I was teaching in person. I just feel like somebody else could do a much better job of it because I'm not around all too much. So talking to the other co-chairs, it sounds like Cody has agreed to be our lead co-chair. And Sean is our other co-chair. I see him applauding as well. And I'm still going to stay on as a co-chair to help out for a little bit. But the whole idea is someone who's more physically available on campus could do a better job of it. And Cody's been doing a lot of work and helping me, such as events with the campus Green Up Day and managing all the work studies, all that stuff. So really, it's not that big of a change other than Cody will probably be running the meetings as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll still be at as long as, and maybe that'll mean a change in the meetings, maybe different days, times, maybe more in-person stuff. But if I can make it and there is like a hybrid option, maybe there'll be a meeting owl room would be a good idea. I don't know. These are all things for Cody and the rest of the co-chairs to figure out before we meet again. So unless anybody has any comments or anything they'd like to add about that, I think that was our last official agenda item, which means that it is now a open topics / discussion for the group. So if anybody has anything that they would like to bring up, I see Sean with the hand up and I see Tina after Sean.
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry that I'm late. I was at Wacona registering students and I just got out of there late. So I'm sorry. And it looks like you may have already touched base with this. But one of the things I was thinking about this weekend when Christian and I were working at Crosby was just that I felt like that was a really nice way for Green Team to just kind of be, boots on the ground, hands in the earth, kind of helping out. And I had said to Christian that I was interested in maybe taking more initiative and trying to see if maybe we could get together, if a small group of us, maybe some students, maybe a larger group, could do that more than just on Earth Day. And I guess I just wanted to flag that. I don't know, Christian, if you had already mentioned that, but that was a thing on my mind. I'm happy to kind of take the lead in trying to coordinate that. I had a really good time and I really felt like it was a valuable kind of giving back and a really good, consistent with just our general ethos of what it is that we do. So I was hoping to maybe see if we could put together one over the summer, and maybe one in the fall, like if we were just doing one seasonally or something like that. So I just wanted to flag that. And I'm sorry if I'm saying everything that was already said earlier in the meeting. So
no, I paraphrased you earlier, but you said it way better than I did. So thank you for letting folks hear it directly from your mouth. And as long as I'm in town, whenever you do one, I'll be there. I love the community cleanups. Yeah. Like I told you, Sean, the day of, like, I feel like we had a huge impact.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I think there's schools, there's parks, like there are ways for us to do this. And if folks are cool with it, I just might take that and see if I can't put some stuff together a little more frequently than once a year.
Awesome. So Sean, I've got the bags and the gloves. You just let me know when you need them, and we'll get it done.
That sounds good.
And for
Thanks,
folks who are
everybody.
interested in attending, just keep an eye on your email. You'll hear from us.
Yeah.
All right. Tina, you have your hand up and you've been so patient.
Oh, I actually am unmuted. I didn't realize that. So I might be incorrect, but I work in a department that has a shared kitchen, and we've been talking a lot about shared kitchens. And I don't believe that there's a recycling container in there, but it has a bag, and it's not really used for recycling. And I don't think it's on facilities radar to be picked up as a recycling place. And I know this is the green team and not facilities. I don't know how we can bridge that communication. But when I'm quickly eating my lunch and barely having time to do that, there are things I want to recycle sometimes. Try not to have wasteful lunch objects, but sometimes I do. And then I have to go to another part of campus to put recycling in. So if we're going to have shared kitchen spaces, then we probably should have recycling receptacles and recycling pickup in those shared kitchen spaces. So I just figured I'd start here with
Yeah,
that. I
makes
know
sense
Deb
to
just
me.
left and I see Dave is here, but
Yeah, yeah. And Tammy was here for a brief moment, but my gut, and and Dave can correct me if he's present and if I need to be corrected, is that just reach out to facilities, and if you're not on their radar, you just need to kind of get on their radar. Like maybe they need to replace a bin so it's a little bit more obvious. Um, I do know in some locations bins have been kind of taken to use as let's just say drip receptacles. So some bins have been repurposed, and I think in some cases your bin may not be there. However, I feel like if you just reach out to, and maybe start with Deb too. Deb could probably
okay.
tell you this as well. And that actually kind of leans into Tina. We're going to talk more afterwards through email about the sharing appliances and where to go next. You missed it a little bit earlier, but I think we decided to wait to do our big campus-wide reveal until the fall semester begins, because a lot of people are about to leave campus for the summer.
Right.
So to have the most impact but maybe a little addendum part of that, we can talk to the facilities folks and get the exact wording is, hey, if you need to have the bins rethought in your shared space, let someone in facilities know, and they'll, get you right sized, whatever you need. And also that process would get you on their radar too. So yeah, and like I spend a lot of my day here at Williams. I've noticed that our custodians, they don't even collect the office trash bins. They only empty the trash bins that are in the common shared kitchen areas, or like out in like a public lobby. So you are expected to kind of take your trash from recycling in your office and bring it to one of those common locations. Otherwise, it just keeps piling up, and they make no mistake. We only collect the shared kitchens and the public spaces. So don't expect your office to get the full treatment. So there are other ways of handling it, and actually we have all summer to reach out to, because I know that Dave and Deb and Tammy and folks, they're here most of the summer too, in between vacations. So I think we can get that figured out before September, and maybe add that as a thing to our educational material, to check with facilities if you need bins.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. And we'll talk more about that via email. We have some time to plan it now. Cool. So anything else from anyone, whether it be Tina or really anybody? Otherwise, that I think is our meeting.
Oh, I just thought of something, guys.
Yep.
I probably sent it to all of you already, but Nordica up in Science Commons is working really hard to get both of the 2 hydroponic towers going. And she's got a couple people interested. She'd like to also get some students interested. So I sent it out to kids I know. So if any ideas pop up in your mind of kids you think would be really interested in doing something like that, Nordica at Science Commons is going for it with the two big towers that Colin has up there in Science Commons.
Cool. And I think now that the construction up in that area is wrapping up, I think they can start to be a little bit more deliberate with their future plans.
Yeah, there's plenty of space. So and there's some other hydroponic units that are just sitting around too. So she knows about those as well. So she wants to start with the two ones that are basically the same. So if any of you guys want to start learning about it, she's getting it going. We'll work on it over the summer, but she's going to be the person to head it up because she works right up there. So it's like right there where her job is, right? So I'm pretty psyched about it. I know I sent stuff out to you guys a few weeks ago, but I just thought I'd put a heads up out there.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you for mentioning it, Roberta. That's great.
Sure.
Okay, so anything else? Last call on open topics / discussion. I will just say that if anybody saw that eclipse a couple weeks back, that was pretty cool, huh? I know we weren't in totality here, but it was still pretty cool. It got kind of dim, that's for sure. All right, just another, I think they said 30, 40 years for the next one. Yeah. Okay. I'm not seeing anything else, so that is the end of our meeting. I'm going to click on stop.